Here we are, pre-season of the 2017 season. And now we picked up only 5 new players in that draft, but we didn't have that many draft picks. But it was always going to be the 2018 draft where we really cashed in and pretty much can overhaul the entire team. 4 first round picks, and now one of those extra ones we would have had, we did trade away to pick up that cornerback, the cornerback of the future of the NFL. It's Deion Sanders reincarnated. All right, maybe not, but I like the cornerback. But we traded away a first rounder from this draft for him. So we've got 4 left, from Buffalo, from Atlanta, and from Houston. Now, obviously, we want these teams to do as badly as possible. That's what'll do us the best service. And then no end of second round picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 second round picks from all sorts of teams. So obviously, again, a bunch of teams we want to do badly. We've got Cleveland's second round pick, so if they end up with the first overall pick again like they did last time, we'll basically have a late first rounder on our hands. We picked up 1 third round of this year's draft trading away, another 4th round trading away, had a 4th rounder there as well, 2 6s and a whole bunch of 7s. And now these 7s, maybe we can use, maybe we won't. We could trade them up. We got a 4th rounder for one of our 7th rounders this year, so maybe we can make some moves like that again. So this year's class was slightly underwhelming in numbers, but we're going to pick 1 less player than we picked all of this draft in the first round next year, and that is crazy. So before I go into the preseason, I wanted to use the preseason properly last year. Never got a chance, because by the time we built the whole team, we managed to get everyone. Not everybody was a free agent, so it took me a while to get everybody, and by the time I did, there weren't any preseason games left, so I couldn't really test them out like I wanted to. This year, we will be using the preseason properly, but what I'll do in terms of the videos, I'll just show big play highlights when a player impresses me or doesn't impress me, the opposite of that. That I'll put in, and we can kind of look at how everybody does in that way. Not going to have to go through every single game, a whole bunch of plays at a time, just the ones that really matter in deciding the depth chart. And of course, we've got expanded rosters during the preseason. I'm going to take advantage of that. Probably not fill it up to the full 75 size, but certainly bring in some more guys that we may just end up cutting anyway. And the shopping list goes like this. We're going to look for a quarterback now. We're not going to trade for a quarterback if there's a quarterback available in free agency, and I will keep checking free agency every time we pass a preseason week, because obviously it's cut week, somebody will come available, so I'm going to keep looking at them. But I'm not looking to replace Christian Hackenberg. He broke the single season touchdown record for a rookie last year. He's already gone up to a 74. He was down at, I think, like a 67, 68 maybe to begin the season, so he's climbed a lot. He is good. He had a terrible playoff outing, but to be fair, that's going to happen. So I will look at a quarterback. We're going to look for a running back only as cover for Keith Marshall and Foster. As many as 3 wide receivers, but only as backups. So Coleman, Mitchell, Sharp, Thomas, and Boehringer have all got their spots, but behind them basically is also return guys, stuff like that. We're going to look for up to 3 if there's anybody interesting. Tight ends, I'm going to look for as many as 2 tight ends, maybe just the 1. 1 right tackle, probably just pick up Van Dyke again. We didn't re-sign him, but plan was to bring him back if we didn't have anybody else. We've only got 1 right tackle at the moment. 1 defensive tackle, we do have 3. We're going to switch Onyemata to a full-time defensive tackle from right end, change his position. Another middle linebacker, because our 3rd middle linebacker isn't that good, so we'll see if anybody else is going to do anything. 1 right outside linebacker to back up our superstar defensive captain, although I did look, I don't think you can make people captains in this one. You used to be able to. If you can, and you know how, you could tell me. And then 1 free/strong safety, because we've got 2 free safeties, but one of those is playing strong safety, which technically means the gap is at free safety. But we don't need 3 free safeties on the team, so I'll probably look for a strong safety, but he's going to end up backing up the free safety. It's all confusing. But that is it. That's the shopping list, really. What is that? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players added. And we'll see, because I like preseason. Obviously, it rotates the team for you. That's why I'm going to make use of this, because I'm not going to sit there and change the depth chart halfway through a game to see who plays well, but in the preseason, that does it for you automatically, like they do in the actual NFL, so I'm going to take advantage of that, because I never really got to give Mobo a real chance, as in he's had a couple of plays, but he plays when we've got like 4 receiver sets and stuff. Maybe he can impress me enough in the preseason to get himself a slot position or something. I don't know. I'm open to that happening. That's why I want to do it this way. Better young young quarterbacks will become available as people start to get cut. Maybe we'll go for a mobile quarterback just to change something a little bit here. There's a bunch of mobile quarterbacks. And we'll see if there's anybody with an exciting mix of speed and something else. Now this CJ Tompkins, for example, obviously a rookie out of UCF. 83 speed, 89 acceleration. That could be pretty interesting. Zach Pearman, 86, 87. Just having a guy like that on the bench, you know, maybe we can even use him in a couple of plays. Start doing a little bit of Browns stuff, playing like 5 quarterbacks in the same game. We're going to go for Zach Pearman. Out of East Carolina, 86 speed, 87 acceleration. And like I said, we will continue to come back and have a look. There's absolutely no accuracy there pretty much. Again, we can't go over, I would say, 73 with any of these ratings, because 73 is going to make players better than who we already have. And again, that goes against the point. We could go Kenyon Drake, who obviously would be great in terms of being able to receive as well. At 91 speed, 89 acceleration, he can basically replace both of our players. Darrell Lattimore, what do you got? 65 catching, 61 route running. We're going to go for Kenyon Drake. How is this guy undrafted? He's 6'6", 231 pounds, 91 speed. And now you know how I like to go for those big guys. I'm going to have to sign that guy. There's no chance I'm letting that speed and size combination get away from us. And that will also do it, I think, for getting wide receivers. Antoine Wall, welcome to the team. You undrafted free agent. You've made a team. I'm going to pick up another ridiculously large tight end. We already have Rico Gathers on the team. 6'2" is not going to do. There is a 6'6" guy down here. We're going for undrafted free agents because obviously that's kind of what you're looking at this time of year anyway. That's quite good speed for a 6'6" guy, 270 pounds. A vertical threat. That's the only reason why I don't like going for undrafted free agents, is because sometimes these combinations are just ridiculous, what they randomly generate on players. See, this guy, 6'6", 260 pounds, is balanced, 76 speed, 80 acceleration, makes more sense. This other guy was the size of a freight train and would fly up the field. 6'6", 263. Well, we're certainly not short of giant tight ends. Let's see, if there's one that's 6'7", we'll go for him. If not, we'll go for that vertical threat. I don't care what you tell me, that guy is not 23 years old. Alright, so we're gonna go for Aaron Weatherington from Oklahoma. He is 6'6", almost 270 pounds, and a vertical threat. Now, what does he do badly? Why is he all the way down here? Okay, so he's got like 0 route running, a terrible release, not that great run blocking, so that's why he's pretty low rated. Well, let's see, low rated. 68 overall. It's actually better than Rico Gathers, but he won't play better than Rico Gathers. Mitchell Van Dyke's still here, so we'll go for him. We had him on the team before, and I just saw he's 6'7", which pretty much fits with our newfound philosophy. All right, let's find the heaviest possible undrafted free agent. So 285 is the mark to beat. Now 293 is the mark. We need someone that's like 350 or something. Give us something ridiculous. 302, the new highest, Lynn Freeney. We need heavier. That's not going to be fun if it's just over 300. At this rate, we'll bring back Michael Bennett. 333. Now we're starting to talk. 6'7", 333. Classic nose tackle there. 332. And he's shorter, which means he'll be bigger. He's got 3 inches less with only a pound. There's more than 1 pound per inch. If we're talking BMI, this guy wins. So now it's going to be Austin Bray, 332, 6'4". Well, it's the preseason. There's only one way to find out who's the fattest. We're going to sign them both and play them both. Alright, a middle linebacker, I'll tell you what worked out well for us. Kevin Pierre-Louis has been an absolute revelation, and he is a speed guy. So we're going to go by speed. I'm going to stick to undrafted free agents. Nigel Holloway, that's a name and a half. He is the fastest undrafted free agent, 85 speed. His name is Holloway. I went to Royal Holloway University. There is no other reason I need to sign this guy. 75 block shedding as well, that's not bad. We're going to find ourselves the smartest undrafted free agent. We're going to go play recognition and see if there are any students of the game that just weren't there physically. You know, the classic prototype of being able to succeed despite being undrafted. And Aaron Wagner is our closest call. We'll have to see what his is, and it's 56. So he's not that smart. See, now I did say we were going to go for the smartest right outside linebacker, and although, you know, the play recognition wasn't there, this guy went to Yale, so Ivy League, I'll do it. That's good enough for me. All right, we're going to go purely based off zone coverage here. for our free safety. And that is Derek Miller right here, who looks pretty good to be fair. 69 overall, 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 80 zone coverage. Terrible in man, but as a backup and as a third option, he won't be playing man ever, so we're going to take him. So I've now changed David Onyemata to a defensive tackle. I also switched Dion Jordan from right end to left end, where he played all of last season, but just officially, so it can stop telling me I needed left end. And now we can have a look at the most important part of all of this, Sherman Can and Austin Bray, who's the biggest? We'll start with Can, and you know, he's carrying a good amount of weight on him. There's some big arms there as well. He's a big fella. Could be bigger though, he's very tall, it takes a lot of size out of him. Yeah, see, Austin Bray just looks the same, just slightly shorter. No more size for his lesser height. Slightly bigger legs, I think, but that's about it. We wanted a Vince Wilfork, we didn't get it. Well, I think we'll stick with the 6'7" guy, but we'll give them both a chance to play. I mean, they're on the roster now. We haven't filled the roster with everybody, but we've got a good number of players. I mean, if we started bringing in too many... Actually, Kenyon Drake can back him up. If we started bringing in too many, you'd just not be able to keep a good track of who's doing what. We're not going to really change the order of the depth chart and stuff until after we've at least played our first game. Apart from here, it's decided who plays where, which is not okay, man, not okay. So I'm just sorting the depth chart out now. Aaron Weatherington is no Rico Gathers. Let's just take a second again to appreciate Rico Gathers. 6'8", 290 pounds. Now this guy's huge, 6'6", 267, but he's not even close. So that's the depth chart sorted out. Time to play these 4 preseason games and see if anybody jumps out at us. Alright, so the whole point of this was to, you know, highlight people that impressed me. And now obviously this is the first team, so all of these guys have already got starting spots. But I did talk about switching D. Milliner to that slot position. I said, can he impress me there? Because he went all of last season never being a disappointment. Can he, when he starts getting these closer looks at the slot position where a lot more happens, he blitzes a lot more, covers some key people, gets thrown out a lot more, can he impress me? First thing he does is force a fumble from Adrian Peterson, which is picked up by David Onyemata. So David Onyemata, new in the team, had it probably out of all these guys, had the best shot of being replaced if one of those huge guys are picked up, played better than him. First thing he does is recover a fumble, which obviously, you know, you can't give him that much credit for, but it was still obviously a good play, even if the ball kind of magically transported itself into his hand. So on this play a little bit later in the first quarter, again, plenty of time to throw, not much of a pass rush there, throws it out wide, and that's D. Milliner there again breaking up that pass. And Milner, the safety there, actually roughed the punter, but to be fair, that's closer than anybody got all of last season, so I'll take that kind of effort, not too worried about that. And then here again, they've got another offensive play. Defense has been doing well, and this is Milliner for the 3rd time this game. Forced fumble for the 2nd time, and recovers the forced fumble himself. Great plays from him. And then this is Antoine Wall just catching that in the thickest traffic you would ever see, and then throwing one up here right at the end for Moritz Böhringer, brings it down, touchdown, great play. I simmed to the end of this game, pretty much the entire second half was simmed, so the stats aren't going to be completely accurate to what I saw, but basically I figured I've seen pretty much everything I needed to from everybody that was playing, and I wanted to quickly go over who did what well, or what I was interested in, what I really liked. So Kenyon Drake definitely didn't get 99 yards whilst I was playing with him. Is also apparently injured. This is why I didn't want to sim forwards, because this could happen without me knowing why. But that's the risk you take. I'm not going to sit there playing an entire preseason game when I've already seen what I needed to. So Kenyon Drake did do pretty well, had some decent runs, but also then had some less good runs, but you can't expect everything from him. Aaron Weatherington I really like, actually. Made some decent catches. Moritz Böhringer, you know, I wanted to give a better chance. Made a case today. And Antoine Wall had no catches, but there was one catch that he made that got called back for a holding call that I put in the video I should have done. It was in traffic, he got slammed, held onto the ball, it was also a very good route. Actually, the route wasn't that good, he was just extremely fast into it, but there you can see also a drop. He's definitely not wowed me so much to the point where I'm like, I have to play him instead of somebody else, but he's also done pretty well, he did impress me. Defensively, Derek Milner, the hardest position he could be playing in. He's competing with a free safety I drafted I really liked, and with Akeem Davis, who I really like, but he did really well today. Ray Waddle did pretty well. Again, no way he's ever going to play, but he did well. D. Milliner, wow. Not exactly making me think that I want to play him at a number 1 corner spot, rather that I may have the best slot cornerback here in the NFL after that first quarter performance. 2 forced fumbles, he was just everywhere, all the time. An incredible slot corner, definitely playing better than anybody else we've had playing the slot all of last season. It's one of those things where it's not going to make him be the number 2 or number 1 corner because of how good he is in just as an equally important position. David Onyemata obviously made some reasonably good plays, nothing spectacular. A fumble recovery, which obviously you could argue anyone would have made. And then Sherman is incredible. The guy is a giant. It's exactly what I was looking for, and he also played very well. That's the thing. Now, apparently 0 stats here, but that's just not the case. I really liked what he was doing. Immediately gets double teamed as well, which I don't know if it's down to what they were going to always do anyway, or what just down to how huge he is. But I really like him there. He could actually fight his way into the starting lineup through these next 3 games. This is the first quarter, so it's the starters. Brock Osweiler drops back, and Devin Still, a huge sack on him. Nice to see Devin Still making plays. Now we're on offense, and there's a hole there for Antoine Wall. He's good in this situation, slides past the first tackler, goes a little bit further. Another time here, loads of time here. Throwing it up again to Moritz Boehringer, makes the catch again, touchdown again, just like last week. And then a soft Hail Mary to finish the second half here, and D. Milliner, second week in a row, makes a huge play. That's an interception for him. So again, I simmed it from the second half onwards. Really, right now I don't see much point in doing that, especially because, like I said, I plan to play all of the backups for a full game in the 4th game, because right now that rookie quarterback we've picked up hasn't played yet. There's a couple of receivers that haven't had a fair chance yet, and we'll give them all a chance when the time comes. Mobo is making it impossible for me to not give him a bigger role. 2 times now, both games, he's made a big time play, contested ball, has gone up and got it for the touchdown. Well, a little less contested this time, was more just getting under it, but you get my point. It's not been completely easy free catches, he's not been 100% open, and he's made them 4 touchdowns. Rico Gathers is keeping Aaron Weatherington at bay for now. The main thing is obviously we can play plenty of 2 receiver sets. 2 drops for him as well, so it's not like he's been playing so well he should replace Gathers. Antoine Wall again has made plays like I said he'd made in the last game. He's very good in traffic. Now, I don't know if he's actually very good in traffic. He's also very elusive. I don't know if he's actually very elusive, but that's how he plays. So I'd rather not look at the stats and just believe he's very elusive and is very good at catching in traffic, because that's how he plays when we're playing him. Obviously going up against second team and stuff like that, but we'll see in week 4 when they get a chance to go up against some first teamers for a quarter. Defensively, Ray Waddle. If he played any other position, I'd really have to start thinking about what I'm going to do with him. But at right outside linebacker, he's just a very good backup for Kevin Pierre-Louis. He's been playing very well in the preseason. Derek Milner, been playing well again this game. I really like him as a second option. Make sure that he's the backup for both positions. It means anytime we play 3 safeties, he'll be on the field. Sherman can with that sack, and he's just huge. He's exactly what I was looking for, and it's working out pretty well so far. D. Milliner is not giving me a chance to even think about playing anybody else at the slot. Not that I really was. His interception did come on a Hail Mary, which is a little bit different, but still hard to do, and it was whilst he was playing corner 1, because it was in the second quarter. But I have no doubt in my mind that he's absolutely locked into the slot, if not better. But so far, Ekpeoluma had 1 shot pretty much. Obviously, you could say, oh, he dropped the interception, but D. Milliner had no interceptions all of last season either. So Ekpeoluma, 1 play against Hopkins, made a good play, so nothing more you can expect from him. Darren Stanley didn't do too much, but played pretty well. Very happy with him as our free safety going forward. Devin Still, this is why I also like to play the first quarter with the starters, of course, because if it wasn't for Devin Still showing that he's got something to give, which obviously he played well all of last season as well, but a sack in this one, played very well. It makes you realize you can't just start Onyemata and Can. One change we make before we go into the week 3 game against the divisional opponent Buccaneers is Mobo is now the number 2 receiver. Now, this isn't set in stone, this isn't for the rest of the season. I just thought in this game is a good chance to look at him there. Tajay Sharp isn't the 3rd string receiver, he is the slot receiver, so therefore Malcolm Mitchell drops to the 4th string. Brennan Coleman is our number 1. Tajay Sharp is by design in the slot, and Mobo is getting a chance at the number 2 spot. Played very well the first 2 games. I want to see him out there with the starters. So this is Mobo's first chance with the first team. Same play he's been doing so well on, but this time he doesn't bring it down. So he goes up against the first teamers, he doesn't bring it down. And this is a 56-yard field goal attempt for our rookie kicker. hits the crossbar, so we now know his range. We know we've got to be about 55, 54 at his absolute furthest, and that there is Waddle making a huge play there, forces the fumble, picked up by DeJuan Smith. Mike Thomas wanted to get in on the action. He saw Mobo get a chance as a second receiver. Maybe he should be the second receiver, and he goes here just on a corner and takes it all the way. Back to defense and back to another linebacker making a play in the passing game. So they complete the pass, Scooby Wright comes in, forces the fumble, it's caught in mid-air by our right end Richardson. What a play there. And then on the goal line, just another receiver needing to prove himself. Malcolm Mitchell makes a real nice catch for the touchdown there. And not to be outdone, Mike Thomas wasn't going to have that. Another corner, a different type of corner route this time. Same result, takes it all the way for the touchdown again. So Mike Thomas making a serious case here when that number 2 spot was kind of opened up for grabs. And the final play of this game here, David Onyemata with a nice sack. Defensive tackle, quite a competitive position. So that's the end of the final game where our starters will play, and I've got more problems than solutions. Mobo didn't let me down, I think I didn't really give him that many chances. We tried that one deep ball. It was worse thrown than the other ones have been, to be fair, but if he would have come down with it, that would have been pretty much it. He probably wouldn't have left the number 2 spot. For now, he will continue to back up, I think, but Michael Thomas has made it extremely difficult for me. Why did he have to go for 6 catches, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns? Basically showing me, yeah, Mobo can do it against the second string guys. I can do it a lot better. Antoine Wall, again, he could catch a cold in the summer. This guy is amazing in traffic. He isn't quite that good enough in the route running or anything. Like, if I throw one up, he's not always going to come down with it. Not because he doesn't catch it, but just because he doesn't get in a good enough position. And for short routes and stuff, it's good enough, but he's not quite there at the level where he can be a number 1 and be on the outside doing a lot of different things. But if I need a guy to catch a ball for me on 4th down, I'm going to put him into the game. Not really much to say about anybody this time. David Onyemata with 2.5 sacks. I was actually thinking in this game, maybe I should put Can ahead of Onyemata. So I'd have Still and Can, and Onyemata be the 3rd string. Exactly as I was thinking, that play he had a sack. He's now got 2.5 in this game. Derek Milner again was very good. I really like him as a backup. Perfect backup. Ray Waddle is causing me huge problems because he's not going to take over from Kevin Pierre-Louis. He's not better than him, that's a simple fact, but he's starting to make me think about playing him at left outside linebacker. That's how good he's been so far. That forced fumble in this game, he's just been all over the place, can break to the line about as fast as anyone on the team. This is the final week of preseason, which means, of course, we have to cut some players before we continue. Obviously, we still have to play the final preseason game, but I'm talking slightly in advance here. Mobo, we're going to flip down. We're not going to flip down because we're going to change well, we're going to flip him down anyway right now. So that is the new look there. I'm going to change it in the game, the lineup for this game, rather than in here, because there's no point changing it twice. And I've had some problems with figuring out what to do with Joshua Perry and Scooby Wright, and both are equally as good, obviously literally in overall, but there's another wrinkle to it and something that I've been realizing in these games. Joshua Perry is by far the superior blitzer, significantly better against the run, and now the stats don't show it here. They both have decent tackling, both have the same block shedding. When Joshua Perry goes in against the run, he tends to make tackles. When Scooby Wright goes in against the run, he tends to get sucked up by blocks. And now on the other end, Scooby Wright is significantly better and by far, I feel, than Joshua Perry in pass coverage. So Scooby Wright is the man in pass coverage, Joshua Perry is the man against the run and in blitz situations. Now, I tend to be pretty simple on defense, which means what will be able to work is if I have Scooby Wright always subbing in on nickel and dime packages, which I obviously will end up using mostly against the pass, or at least when you expect the pass the most. And Joshua Perry would be in the other formations where obviously we're going to probably be sending him in on blitzers. He's not bad in zone actually, he's just not as good in man coverage. But I'm happy to switch these two out. If this was very realistic, I would probably already have Kevin Pierre-Louis wearing the green sticker on his helmet, so he'd be the guy making the play calls anyway. And these two can just sub in and out situationally. And now we're going to go into the final game of the season, playing only with our backups. Hopefully the Bills play their starters for the first quarter so we can get a real look at our guys. I love this play. This is great. A huge hole. 2 safeties come swarming in. 2 safeties I've really been liking this preseason, and they close that hole. And then another great play from our safety Darren Stanley there. Shuts McCoy down, tackles him behind the line, and they'd only get 3 points from that. That was Waddle. Waddle had been so good up to this point. Lets LaShawn McCoy get away, but we've got a safety that doesn't play safety. Nickerson is ridiculous. He's so fast. He came from the other side of the field as a corner and managed to play a safety role for us. And then here all the time in the world. And then Nickerson comes up with the interception. So he just had a huge play there, saving a touchdown. And this time he steals the ball away with an interception, a really good interception. And there's another safety making another play. These safeties are really good. And this is the first field goal that our kicker actually made. And that was 40-something yards. And then this is a really nice play from our middle linebacker, Holloway. When we signed him, I pointed out he had good block shedding. And he got onto that blocker, got off the blocker, made the tackle. And then, as I say all this, you watch Marquise Goodwin make a ridiculous play downfield. That was a huge touchdown, and that's the final play. After holding our own in those other 3 games, going 3-0 in the first 3 games of the preseason, we lose this one 48-10, and now of course we were using our backups the entire game. Well, it doesn't even matter, so there's no excuses or anything. It is what it is, but 48-10 obviously is a bit bad. Shouldn't have been that bad. We weren't very good on defense, even when we had, well, we didn't have the starters in, but. So Zach Pearman, I did like. He adds a fun dimension, I've got to say that much. Now obviously some of these passes would have been when I wasn't using him, but 40% completion percentage. He did throw that touchdown, but that was mostly Goodwin's work. But he can tear off. Well, whilst I was using him, he was on 44 yards on 3 attempts. Basically, the question of whether he'll make the team or not is just based on numbers. Antoine Wall, again, very interesting. More and more interesting every time. Very, very good at catching in traffic. It's just his thing. At 6'6" and decent jumping, I can't remember the exact stat, but he's not actually that great once you throw the ball up to him. Catching it high, not really. He can get beaten quite easily there when it's contested. Catching it and getting hit like half a step later, he's very good at, which is a bit odd for 6'6". You know, he's got the height, but so maybe he won't turn out to be the asset I thought he would be, but turn out to be a different one. Defensively, I like Nigel Holloway. This was the first look we got at Nigel Holloway, and I took him in terms of based on speed. And he was fast. I'm happy with him as a 3rd choice for the middle linebacker. Ray Waddle again played well. Maybe not well enough actually to steal that left outside linebacker spot, but good enough to definitely be the backup across the board pretty much. Now you should know how I feel about Akeem Davis, but Derek Milner is just every time he was playing, he was always around the ball. If it was a run, he was one of the first guys there. If it was a pass, he was still one of the first guys there, as long as obviously it wasn't across the complete other side of the field. Very, very good at getting there. And of course, there was that play where he and Darren Stanley were both the first guys to the ball, goal line stand, stopping the running back who hit a huge hole. Both of those guys, and what I'd say about both of them is the exact same thing. Very, very quick and very good against the run. They're always there. Click of your fingers, they're meeting the runner most of the time close to the line of scrimmage. Now, Akeem Davis was very good at run support, but he was usually there like 5 yards down the field. These guys are just there that little bit quicker, and Nate Ebner, absolutely no competition to how quickly Derek Milner gets there. I was gonna say he gets to start. Now, this abdominal tear obviously puts that into question, and will I still start him afterwards? I'm not sure, but he's definitely helped himself a lot here. And next week we'll set our season goal, which will be a little more optimistic than last year, which of course it should be because we did pretty well last year. And then we'll get into the season and start playing some games. I'm very excited about this. Not too many changes, but the changes there are very exciting.